overview of what it is, or the things that we're going to cover today. What is vision? And then a review of I am, therefore I will. We're going to cover how to work on your vision. We'll deal with routinely conscious. When I grow up, with Thanksgiving. Okay, and then we'll have a question and answer at the end, or just some time for more discussion. But this is the same definition that we've had before of what vision is. Vision is the ability to think about or see your future with your mind or imagination. Okay? And of course, the emphasis is on with your mind or imagination. Let me tell you, our mind and our imagination could be one of the most powerful things that God has given us. It's one of the most powerful things. Before we can create it, we have to see it in our minds. We have to imagine it. Okay? And think of how God even talks about in the Word about how we as people having the wrong imagination. You know, God speaks to how, we as human beings, as His creation, we have the wrong type of imagination. And it's like He's acknowledging how the imagination governs so much of what we do in our lives. Our imagination, our minds. And so that's what vision is. It is the ability to think about or see your future with your mind or imagination. Okay? Another thing I thought about since the last time in terms of what vision is, it is a thought picture. It's a thought picture. It's a thought you have in picture. And that, as simple as that is, having that picture, that visual in your mind, that governs so much of our behaviors. Yes. It governs so much of our thinking. It governs so much of our feelings. It's our imagination. Okay. And that's why, as children, we have to make sure we are promoting and encouraging and not limiting our children's imagination. And as adults, we start to lose the imagination, and a child will have an imagination about something, and we can shut it down.
Yes, sir.
We can totally shut it down. We don't know what we're shutting down is their ability to have vision.
Jesus.
That's what we could be shutting down. And I'll touch on that, I think, maybe a little later when I get into when I grow up. Okay. But that's what vision is. Just wanted to review what vision is. Okay. And this is, I like this quote here from Helen Keller. We know Helen Keller. I don't know all the details about her, but I know she was blind, physically blind. And this is the quote that she says, "The only thing worse than being blind is having sight but no vision." Okay. And so she physically was blind. She could not see with her eyes, but she accomplished a lot in her life because she saw with her mind and her imagination. And so for her to be able to make that quote is a powerful thought. To think that here's a person who physically couldn't see with their eyes, but they had the insight to be able to share this type of message with the rest of humanity. To say, it's not about, it's not word, it's good to have eyes physically to be able to see, but that's not the worst thing. The worst thing is to actually be able to see but not have a vision. Because you can't see with your mind. That's what's limiting. So hope and meditate on, think on that. And I am, therefore I will. I want to review this. I just have this in here again just because it's so important. Two things that I want to talk about is in the Bible when Jesus was in church and he had the scripture, he found in the scripture And he found in the scripture, what was he reading about? He read where it says, what is the Spirit of the Lord is upon me?
Yeah.
And he talks about how, I don't know, I'm not quoting the scripture exactly, but he talks about how the Spirit of the Lord is upon me.
Yes.
And then he reads. But here's the key point. It says basically he found in the scripture where it was talking about himself.
That's right.
And a part of it is he found in the scripture where it talked about who God said that he was. And then also in that scripture, it also talks about, if not just that scripture, Jesus also knew what he was supposed to do because he knew who he was. But what I want us to take away from that is how we have to find in the scripture who God says that we are.
That's right.
That's one of the reasons why Jesus was able to constantly walk in the earth and hear all these things that man said that he was and still didn't lose heart because he found in the scripture who God said that he was.
My God.
So you have to be able to find in the scripture who God says that we are.
Wow. That's good.
And then that'll also lead to us being able to do what we're supposed to do.
That's good, sir.
And the other scripture in the Bible deals with the sower sows the word. When Jesus was teaching about the sower sows the word. And then and Jesus is teaching about how the sower sows the word on all kinds of different grounds.
Yeah.
And those grounds were the hearts.
That's
Okay?
it.
And a lot of times we teach that, or we hear that message from the idea